All right, perfect. Well, welcome to our call tonight. My name is Rebecca Cafiero. I am a holistic nutritionist, actually certified in holistic health and integrative nutrition, which means I am about the whole life being healthy. And again, just want to acknowledge all of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules. Today is election day. We know everyone has so much going on, and we're just so grateful for you for investing a little time to learn more about something that can not only improve your health, but other areas of your life. So let's get started. So I want to take you back about 5 years. And actually, before we do that, I want to ask everyone a question. And you can write this down, or you can just think about it in your mind. If there was one thing right now that you could improve in your health, one thing, what would it be? And I encourage you to drop it in the chat, if you don't mind sharing. Would you be looking for more energy? Would you be looking for less cravings? Would you be looking for less tummy troubles? Would you want to release a couple of sticky pounds, add on some muscle, wake up without the alarm clock? What would you improve if you could wave a magic wand over your health and improve anything? So we've got less cravings, release and keep off the pounds, less stress. Oh, I love that one. I think anyone, regardless of the body type, size you're in, less stress is something we could all benefit from. Clearer skin, tummy troubles gone, absolutely. Now, outside of your health, if there was one other area in your life you could have more of, what would that be? Go ahead and drop it in. Money. What about more time, more fun, more free time, more ability to impact, more purpose, more community, support, positivity, more choice? I love that, more choice, because that's really what it's about, is having more choice for anything that you want. So tonight we're going to dig in on the health front, but the amazing thing about health, I just feel like it's the foundation value of everything in our life, because when we feel good, we do good. And when we feel good, it affects everyone around us. And on the flip side of that, when we don't feel good, we know we aren't our best self. We don't get our best output. We're not probably that fun to be around. So we're going to start, like I said, about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was engaged to be married, and I was doing all of the healthy things. I was counting my calories. I was using MyFitnessPal, which was not my pal. In fact, it was my nemesis. And I was working out 5 days a week. In fact, if I worked out and I counted my calories enough, I sometimes could earn that glass of wine. But I was really struggling. I was struggling, one, with my body. I didn't feel great in my body. I felt just puffy and inflamed, unconfident. You know, when you sit down in the seatbelt, I just had stuff coming over the top I didn't really like. But I also was exhausted. I was hitting the snooze multiple times during the day. Multiple times in the morning. And then at about 2 o'clock, I was falling asleep at my desk. And sometimes I would even fall asleep at home when I parked my car. I'd just be like, I'm just going to get out in a minute. And all of a sudden, I would have napped for 20 minutes. And I knew that life should not keep going that way. And I already led such a clean diet. I was already eating basically Whole30. I was eating only organic, no dairy, no gluten, and I'm like, how the heck am I going to improve things? So I want to share with you, this is a little bit vulnerable, but I want to share with you kind of where I was at physically, and then what changed when I was introduced to nutritional rebalancing. I'm going to share these photos first just to show you what can change in a 60-day period. So this was me. I need to Photoshop out the bra area. But this was me at the top. I mean, you can see in my posture how defeated I felt. And I was probably sucking it in the middle picture. I just felt incredibly uncomfortable in my body. And I was never a big person, but I think we can all agree, whether it's 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever it is, if you don't feel good in your body, you just feel really out of sorts. And after all those healthy things I tried, when I finally was introduced to nutritional rebalancing with Isagenix and gave it a try, you guys, 60 days later. And the amazing thing about this is that 60 days later, I only did 2 workouts. And they weren't even good SoulCycle workouts. They were wimpy workouts on the treadmill where I was watching The Bachelor. I will admit it. Or maybe Dancing with the Stars. Some garbage TV show. And I remember in the after pictures, I was running around the house one day in my underwear. I felt good enough to do that. And I told my husband, I'm like, honey, I work hard to look this good. He looks at me like, really? And I go, you're right, I haven't worked that hard. This has been really easy, but it looks like I work hard. Like I had abs I'd never seen before. I had definition in my arms and I wasn't doing push-ups every day. But more importantly than just what the outside reflected is how good I felt inside. I mean, I started this and day 5, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know my body was capable of feeling as good as I do. I didn't know I could have this much energy. I didn't know I could walk by the holiday dessert area at work around Christmas and say no to, not even say no, not like, don't touch it. You need to have good self-control. You're getting married in 4 months, but I had no desire. And that's what really struck me. I just assumed having a crazy sweet tooth was part of my genetics because my mom had it. So I just want to go over first a little bit about why this system works. But first, why do we need it? Because, well, number one, the amount of toxicity that we're introduced to. And toxicity comes from a couple of different areas, but often it comes from the input of our food. Also, what we put on our skin, what we're breathing in, our hair products, all of these different things create toxicity in our environment. And unfortunately, we're just really inundated. There's a fact that when a baby is born, and I'll show you, I am 17 weeks pregnant right now. This is not a beer gut. But when a baby is born, it is tested and its umbilical cord holds anywhere from 50 to 90 known man-made toxins, which is just terrifying. That our babies, like coming out of the womb, are already subjected to so many toxins. So number one is what's coming into our environment and what happens when a toxin comes into the body. I'm going to use my little rose quartz here. When a toxin comes into the body, it circulates through the bloodstream and it goes near the liver, the kidney, the organs, and they say like, we can't handle this. So the liver says, I'll take on the responsibility, and it enrobes that toxin in fat, a fat cell called an obesogen. Sounds really disgusting, right? And that obesogen cell sticks right around the tummy area. It's that yellow adipose tissue, that sticky fat. If you've ever seen a Discovery Channel where they're cutting into someone, it's that really gross yellow fat. But that is basically a fat cell that is just a toxic fat cell. It is full of inflamed water, and it's the worst type of fat. And it's really important that our body, that we don't have a lot of that, or it leads to toxicity everywhere. It leads to a lot of strain on our bodies. So that's number one of why we need to cleanse. Number two, stress levels. Even if you eat the best diet in the world and you are living inside of a bubble like Bubble Boy, how many of you are dealing with stress? Drop in the chat, what is your biggest stressor? Maybe you don't like your job. Maybe you have a 2-hour commute like I used to have, which is a lot of stress. Maybe you've got health issues going on, or someone that you love is going through something. Maybe you are in a relationship that's causing stress, or let's face it, we all have relationships, whether it's family or friends, that often cause stress. Not having enough time, not having enough money. So there's all of these things that cause us stress, that increase our cortisol levels, our stress levels. And the crazy thing about cortisol is when the stress levels are high, it suppresses what's called our human growth hormone. Now, this isn't the stuff that makes weightlifters, well, it can make weightlifters buff, but it's what actually controls our metabolism. So let's just think about this. Stress is high, even if you undereat, if you reduce calories, if you don't deal with the stress level, you're never going to have optimal health. Plus, we have all those toxins in our body creating additional stress within our body. Okay. And then number 3 is dense nutrition. And this is, I think, the one that I like to talk to people about the most, because so many people think that they are eating clean and that they're getting what they need. And unfortunately, that's just not the case. And we're going to have Gabby out in a moment to walk us through a little bit about how she learned how nutritional rebalancing really fills those pockets of what we need. So there was a study done by UCLA in 1955, and it compared the amount of iron in one bowl of spinach to the amount of iron, 2 bowls of spinach. I think it was in 1999, about 20 years ago. And it showed that the amount of iron in one bowl of spinach in 1955, it took over 54 bowls 20 years later. And that's because of degradation of our soil and the lack of trace minerals, which are what basically carries food to our cells and really lights our cells up. So even if we're eating the most perfectly prepared food, like Gwyneth Paltrow meals, recipes, we are still not always getting the nutrients that we need. In fact, it's almost impossible. You would have to eat like dozens of pounds of food a day to get in everything that you need. So this is the last reason, is that we really are in need of dense nutrition. And what dense means is not a lot of calories, but a lot of nutrition. So I like to tell people, count your nutrition, not your calories. Because especially as Americans, we tend to be the most overfed and the most undernourished. So let's dive into Isagenix. I think I explained to everyone now. You've got an idea of why this is important, why we need it, but let's talk about what does it actually do. So what is this? So Isagenix, which stands in Latin for balanced health or balanced life, is a synergistic nutritional system that addresses those things that the body needs. It addresses reducing toxicity through the age-old, not scientifically backed habit of intermittent fasting, along with herbs that help the body's natural detoxification process. It is aimed at looking at dense nutrition and, again, filling those gaps in a way that is low calorie but highly nutritious. And number 3 is reducing stress levels and helping our body adapt to stress. So it's just synergistically created as a system to fit into our lifestyle of what we're already doing. So I'm going to go through a couple of the core products. I want to talk a little more. So behind me, I actually have what's called a value pack. And I started with this pack, but there's lots of different options based upon your goals, based upon your lifestyle, and of course your budget. Isagenix does address several different goals, such as weight management, healthy weight management, meaning if someone needs to gain healthy weight or lose weight. It addresses healthy aging. It addresses energy. It addresses performance. And the amazing thing about all of these is somebody can start out like I did to release some weight. I released 18 pounds, but it affects every area. You can't just say, only weight loss for me, I don't want a healthy age. You just do. In fact, I want to find one more photo if I can. Oh, here we go. So this is, I'm just going to share my screen here. This is me at 32 versus 38. The ironic thing is right now, pregnant, I am probably about 5 pounds heavier than I was there. Look at the difference in my face. Like, this is video. There's no photoshopping or filters here, right? The difference in my skin quality, the difference in my face. My eyes look larger because there's less inflammation, and I'm pregnant. This is a time that you typically don't feel fantastic, right? So that is an example of reducing inflammation and healthy aging. So I'm going to go through a couple of the products. It's actually my headphones out here. So my favorite product of all, it's called Ionix Supreme. This stuff is incredible. I actually had an Uber driver today that he and his wife were both Olympic gold medalists from Russia in swimming, and we were talking about adaptogens. And adaptogens is what is in Ionix. It's basically herbs that survived in their natural environments under a lot of duress, and they've been massively studied. They were actually used on the very first Russian astronauts to go into space before they were used on the Olympians. And they are just these natural, incredible super herbs that help reduce stress to the body. So some of them work on mental stress, some of them work on physical stress, but this is a non-caffeinated tea of sorts that is full of 7 different adaptogens. What's amazing about this is it's about $1.20 a serving. You guys, if you bought just ashwagandha, which is one of the most well-known adaptogens that's in Ionix, you'll typically pay anywhere from $40 to $60 for a month's supply. And the beautiful thing about all the products Isagenix has is they are cold processed, which means they're highly bioavailable. And what that means is cold processing is a way of very, very gently processing the food so that it is in a state where your body is able to absorb the majority of the nutrition. When we are having a hamburger, or let's say an egg, even if it's a healthy salad, you might be absorbing 20 to 30% of the nutrition, and most of the Isagenix products are formulated so you're absorbing 85 to 90%. So you just really get it. This stuff is incredible, and it can be used in the morning or at night or multiple times during the day if you feel like you're having a stress attack at work. Okay. Next, let's talk about our Cleanse for Life. Now, this is the powder version, but there's also liquid. Cleanse is an aloe vera-based, botanical-driven liquid or powder that is used for cleanse days, or they can just be used on a daily basis to address cleansing. And what this specifically does is it's combined on intermittent fast days or cleanse days. This is not a poopy cleanse, by the way. This is a pee-pee cleanse,
to help support the body's natural detoxification. So the aloe vera helps go in. It helps actually clean out what's called the lymphatic system. And I know I'm getting into a lot of science here, but it's so important because there's so many, I think, things out there that people look at and they're like, oh, wow, well, that says cleanse or that says detox, but they're not addressing the entire body. It's like colon cleanse, please stay away from those, or liver cleanse. Like, it's kind of like, Mackenzie's going to do an example later, I'm sure, about skincare, but I'll just use a car example. Cleansing without a synergistic system would be kind of like taking your car in when the check engine light is on and like having one tire rotated or one tire repaired and changing the oil but not the filter. It just doesn't address the whole thing. You have to have the whole body in balance. But this is amazing. Cleanse days are so easy. This also has all the adaptogens that are in Ionics, and it is delicious. All right. Let's see. Next, oh my goodness, these are my favorite. I can't take them while pregnant. You can't do herbs when you're pregnant because they're not studied. And I miss these vitamins. But these are the Ageless Essentials with Isogenesis. Now, before I get into Isogenesis, I just want to talk about the Ageless Essential and the value of them. So if you're not currently taking a vitamin, you definitely should be, because we don't get all of our nutrition from our food. But I'm going to pull up a little graphic to show you. But the thing about it is that all vitamins are not created equal, right? Think about if you've ever had a vitamin that made you feel like you wanted to gag after, or that tasted horrible, or that made your stomach hurt. It's realistic that that vitamin probably wasn't a great quality. And the Isagenix vitamins are incredible quality, but also, again, they have that bio availability. And I want to show this graphic because this shows the amount of food you would have to consume in a day to get the same as you would get in one vitamin pack. So this shows the amount of magnesium you're getting. You'd have to have 22 mangoes, the vitamin B, the folic acid or folate, the selenium, the resveratrol. I mean, 250 glasses of wine. Listen, I like a glass of wine when not pregnant, but we're not going to be taking this amount on. So the amount of food, and this is organic whole food, you would have to consume in one day to get the nutrients from these vitamins would be $550 a day. That's probably not if you're shopping at Whole Foods. And instead, for $4.15 a day, you can get all of those things. The other thing I love is the Isogenesis. The Isogenesis vitamin is truly targeted at healthy anti-aging, and they're 10 years ahead of anything else out there. They actually won the Nobel Prize for the science behind the Isogenesis vitamin. And basically what it does is, imagine your DNA strands like a shoelace. At the end of the strand, there's the little plastic tip that keeps it from fraying. At the end of the strand, that is called a telomere. What happens, they found, is when your telomeres shorten, bad things happen. So your telomeres don't shorten as you age as your telomeres shorten. And this is proven to help repair your telomeres. So super important. And lastly is the Isagenix shakes. Again, I like to call them smoothies. They're so different from any other shake out there. I had tried other shakes, but these shakes are complete meal replacements, meaning you'd have to have, I think, 2 breasts of chicken to get the amount of protein. These are vegan, so for those of you that are plant-based, soy-free, gluten-free, dairy-free. Even the ones that are whey-based, if you like dairy, are lactose-free. So these are just incredible. They are so full of nutrients, you can just feel it soaking into your body. And you just add ice and water. I like mine blended, but they're also good shaken. And you don't have to add anything else. You don't have to add in spinach and chia seeds and all of these things because they're already a perfect meal. And like I said, no artificial ingredients. Thanks, Mackenzie. No artificial sugars, no artificial flavors. All non-GMO food that is above USDA organic grade. And why I say it's above USDA organic is USDA organic actually allows for approved pesticides and herbicides. It's a scary thing that a lot of people don't know. So it allows approved pesticides and herbicides in quantities that are less than conventionally grown, but it also doesn't test for heavy metals. So if you've ever tried, let's say, Vega One, which is a shake brand I used to drink before I was introduced to Isagenix, even though it's organic, that can be tested for herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, and still get approved. And secondly, it's got incredibly high levels of heavy metals. Isagenix not only tests for herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, also microbiomes, which is mold. You'd be amazed at the amount of food that has mold in it that still gets served on our shelves. And lastly, they test for heavy metals, and they have an incredible quality assurance that surpasses, again, USDA organic. And they are approved in countries like New Zealand, Australia, and the UK, which have much higher levels than we do of food safety. So those are the basics. Now, that is just kind of the basic system. There's so many other products that you see behind me. So there are things like Isodelites, which are these delicious little fat-burning chocolates packed with antioxidants. One of these only has a couple of grams of natural sugar from apples or beets, and it has more antioxidants than a cup of blueberries. There's snacks, there's powdered greens, there's all kinds of things that we don't have the time to go through every single product, but I highly recommend the value pack. It retails about $19 to $20 a day, depending on your state and your tax, and it replaces over 80 meals for the month, plus a blender, okay? And then for the holidays, just a couple of things I love is they have a immune support spray. A couple of sprays of this under the tongue. Has zinc, it has colostrum, all kinds of things to help keep you healthy through the holidays so you can be enjoying your life. But I will tell you, Isagenix alone has made me healthier than ever. Also, they have a sleep support spray that's incredible, that is so good for good sleep, especially at this time of year when the time is changing. But I want to bring out now Gabby, who is also a holistic nutritionist. She's a fitness instructor. She's an incredible Whole Foods advocate. And she, a couple months ago, I think back in end of January, took a look at Isagenix and educated herself on it. And she's going to share what she found, and I'm going to pull up her incredible before and after pictures. So Gabby, over to you.
Hello, everyone. So thank you so much, Rebecca. You did an amazing job at describing all the nutrition. And it's something that is so important to highlight because there's so many things out there, and it's very overwhelming to pick and to get educated enough to know what you're consuming and know what you're doing. It's very easy to neglect our health. It's very, very easy. It's one of the last things we try to, we care about until something hurts or until we gain a lot of weight and we feel crappy. So it's all about preventative health. I mean, Rebecca is already a healthy person, but, she wants to make sure that, and everyone, I mean, speaking about everyone, it's so important to really look at health as preventative health and to do something that also gets you to that place where you can maintain and hold yourself accountable with other people that will help you do the same. So to talk a little bit more about my experience, I obviously thought that I had it all figured out as being a health coach and also a fitness instructor, but there's always room for improvement. And I knew that while traveling, I knew that, while I'm on the go, healthy eating was something very hard, especially in the States, because I am originally from Caracas, Venezuela, South America, and depending on the country, obviously nutrition is very different. But when I decided to say yes to this, it was because I know that I was already recommending products to my clients that I wasn't even a fan of. And I wanted to try something myself that I would feel good with and that I can actually see a transformation. And I definitely need an improvement in my inflammation. And that's obviously due to the toxicity and things that we cannot control through healthy eating and exercise. And so I gave it a try. I did the cleanse and I did, tried the pillars of the system, which is the cleanse, the tea, the adaptogenic tea, and the shakes. And I lost, this is my 60-day transformation. I did lose 10 pounds. And what's great about it is I did not lose muscle, which really indicates that this is incredible nutrition and you are, being well fed and really, really nourished. Because in the States, especially, we have a lot of food, but very little nutrition. And this is a way that you can really feel confident that you're having what you need. For me, it's been a game changer, not only for myself while traveling and while I'm on the go and just for convenience, time saving and all those things, but also for my clients. I've been able to impact so many more lives than I can even imagine. And it's because this system really, it encompasses so many different people, whether that's for healthy aging or men, women, athletes, young teenagers, whatever it is. every single product can adapt to your lifestyle. And that for me is a game changer, that you can, help out so many people. So when you start feeling good, you can tell your mom, you can tell your dad, you can tell so many other people. And so, now that the holidays are coming up, this is the time where we absolutely love to give up and to, come up with all these excuses to just kind of push away our goals. And we start thinking, I don't have money, I don't have time, I don't want to start a new thing. I'm too busy, it's scary, whatever it is. And I encourage you to, why on Mondays? Why do we have to start on Mondays? Why do we need to start healthy routine on Mondays? Why do we need to start in January? It can happen now, and why not you and why not now? That has been something that I've been kind of implementing lately, and it's so true. We deserve more. We deserve better nutrition, and this is a gift. It's a gift that I provide to people every day, that I believe strongly, and that thanks to this, I've found an amazing community that I can't not stop talking about, and you deserve this too. So definitely is something that I do recommend.
Perfect, Gabby. And one thing I wanted to add, I'm going to put my speakers back in.
One thing I just wanted to add is the average person between now, which is, Halloween, and New Year's gains 8 to 11 pounds. You guys, 8 to 11 pounds. So most people, like Gabby was saying, most people just give up. And then they end up spending most of the next year trying to undo the damage from the end of the year. When I started my first system, it was December 15th. Now, is December 15th the best time to start something new? Most people would say, why? No, it's not. But what I found is that it's so easy to integrate into your lifestyle without deprivation in a way that can be customized based on your schedule, that there is no reason to wait to feel good. In fact, after I did it, I was like, I should have started this 2 weeks ago, because I actually sat in my box for 2 weeks waiting till my Christmas party was over, and I so regret that. So next, we're going to bring out Miss Mackenzie Arbel to share not only how simple the system is and how you get started, because that's really important. Is, okay, you're like, okay, this sounds amazing, I want to do it, but how do I get started? And then secondly, the other thing is, how can you have this pay for itself? So Kins, come on out.
Well, thank you, ladies. We're so lucky to learn from you girls and hear from you and your amazing stories. Amazing. So I hope you guys are already feeling so excited, if you don't have this nutrition in your body, to place your order and get started with us. I started Isagenix 3 years ago. I was living in downtown San Diego, working 2 jobs and running a beauty business. I had a brick and mortar beauty business. Rebecca found me on Yelp because I did organic spray tanning. She came in and got an organic spray tan. She was actually pregnant at the time with her first little one, and that's how we linked up. So the power of sharing something that you love, when you love something, it just rolls off your tongue. She was glowing, she was pregnant, and I was like, what does she have that I just like, what is that? And so it was Isagenix. So she ended up sharing with me. And I had tried so many things in the past. I don't know if, Rebecca, you want to show my photo, just to kind of give people an understanding. That was Christmas 2015, and then Christmas 2017, so last year. What I just struggled with always was healthy food habits. I'm from the Midwest, born and raised in Michigan. I grew up on ranch dressing, cheese, and Taco Bell. So I had very poor eating habits, and then moved to San Diego, where it was like yoga and green juice. And there was like the word balance did not exist in my life. I was working 3 jobs and just trying to keep my head above water with a crazy schedule. So when I was introduced to Isagenix and I looked at it compared to other things I had tried, what really stuck out to me was that I was being introduced to a system. And I always think about it like skincare. And so I say to the ladies I speak to, it's like our skin, right? We can't have flawless skin. Now there's a few very lucky people walking this earth that have just gorgeous skin no matter what they do to it. But when we're taking care of our skin, right, we think, looking in the mirror every single day, we need to cleanse our skin. We need to exfoliate the skin, moisturize, tone. We've got our serums, right? There's so many different facets to taking care of the skin. Well, why would our entire body, our wellness, our health be any different? And so, especially with my background in the beauty industry, when I looked at Isagenix and I looked at, what did I struggle with before? And that's what I always ask people, like, where are you struggling right now? Or what do you feel like is failing you? For me, having a busy day, bottom line was just convenience. And cost of living in downtown San Diego, even if I was eating cheap, which probably meant Subway, during my lunch break, that was probably $7 to $8 and wasn't feeling good, felt very bloated, felt very tired and exhausted, and, just crashed at 3 p.m. So my mind wasn't feeling good, my body wasn't feeling good, and everything flows from within, right? So what I was producing wasn't good, is what I always say. And when I looked at Isagenix, just the convenience factor, the simplicity, but also the fact that I didn't have to come into this program and change my whole life around, right? I always say I wasn't going to change. I started when I was 23 or 22. I wasn't going to change 23 years of habits in 30 days. But what I was going to do is I was going to commit to a system, to a community, to tools and resources that were going to totally set me up for success, right? Totally set you up for success, and form great habits, and use products that were solution-based to the issues I was facing every day, like energy, like convenience, like, managing my stress levels, and having just a healthy place to pour into that was holding me accountable and keeping me going on the days that I totally failed, right? And when I say fail, there's no such thing as that, because I was putting my foot forward every single day. And I think that's what we talk about, especially in the holidays. People say, oh my gosh, I totally failed today, or I had a cheat day. There's no such thing, you guys. There's no such thing. There's no perfect day of eating, no matter how clean someone is. So I tell people, just erase that from your mindset right now as you listen to this, and just know that with this system, you have grace, you have balance. Balance is something you create, right? So in days where I had weekends where I had bachelorette parties, or I had, fun events with my husband, he's in the military. So if he was gone a lot, weekends we got together, we're probably like attending a birthday party or doing something in downtown San Diego. It wasn't stressed about eating perfectly, because there's no such thing, right? But I was doing things outside of eating. And that's where I look at Isagenix compared to dieting, because dieting, you're focusing constantly on the food you're consuming. And there's so many different facets to our body and to our health outside of the food we're consuming. Going back to what Rebecca said about toxicity and, storing that in the fat cells and stress levels. Do you know, in very simple terms, right? Because these ladies are, very educated, but for people listening to the simple terms, when we're stressed, our brain literally signals to the body to hold on to fat. So think about how many times in a day, even if you're like, oh, my job isn't stressful. I do consultation calls with people all day long. And I always say, on a scale from 1 to 10, what are your stress levels? And I would say, if I've never actually accurately run the numbers, but I would ballpark that about 90% of people tell me an 8 through a 12. And the stress is just something we can't avoid, right? We can't control the things that are happening in our day. And if it's not work, maybe it's something going on. I watched the whole series on stress, and they actually were monitoring someone, and they put someone in a stressful situation, all age demographics, different, male and female. But when someone opened an email that stressed them out, the amount of cortisol that was released the second they read that email, scrolling through social media. So think about the things that we're not totally inherently thinking about up front when we think of stress. So it's so amazing that we have all these tools in our tool belt, is what I say, and we're learning resources. What's so cool about the sustainability of Isagenix is, if we have this amazing tea that we're drinking that has over 30 adaptogens that are going to help us combat stress, help with energy on a cellular level, help with mental clarity. I mean, I joke that I would like an IV of that all day long, but I can sip it all day long. You really need 1, maybe 2 glasses, right? My husband's in the military, and Ionix is one of his absolute favorite products. And we're so grateful to this nutrition, what it's just helped him in his stressful work days, and the ease of it. So going back to stress and energy, think about the holidays, right? Specifically. You're going to be going to fun parties. You're going to be eating fun foods. You're going to be sipping on some fun bubbly and going out with friends and family. But a big area that we can focus on throughout the holidays is just what's in your tool belt. So for example, a smoothie or a shake about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon before going into holiday parties in the evening. I know for me, when I get that nutrition in my body, I'm not going to be reaching for the things that I'd be doing if I was just going to a holiday party on an empty stomach. I know for me, looking back on that picture from 2015, I'm so proud of my journey. This wasn't for me a 60-day transformation or 90-day transformation. This has been like every single day trying to move ahead, right? Sometimes you take a few steps back, and that's okay, because you have solution-based products, and honestly, a system just based on science, it's going to propel you forward if you just use the products. It's so simple. So I'm going to put a link below, you guys, for a holiday accountability group called Healthy Into the Holidays. We're going to be running about 3 to 4 challenges in this group. The ladies on this call and other ladies are going to help running this group. This is going to be filled with information. This is going to be filled with accountability, fun giveaways, great recipes, little check-ins, workouts, totally loaded up. So we have great product support pages that we'll add you into when you get our system ordered. But this specific group is just going to be very high level accountability and tons of resources to help you crush your holidays, feel amazing. And I know for me, I just don't want to be stressing about a cute outfit that I'm going to wear to holiday parties or feeling yucky when I see family for the first time in months. Like, I just want to feel good from the inside out, have ease, and have fun. And that's what Isagenix allows you to do. So I'm going to put the group in the chat box right now.
And if you're tuning into the recording, just reach out to whoever invited you on this call to get that link from them. And Kins, really quick, can you tell someone how exactly they get started, how the average cost, and then what if they want to start with friends?
Okay, that's the most fun part. So Isagenix has a really fun, simple referral program. People always ask what's the buy-in. The buy-in is you order your groceries. There's no fees outside of that. Ooh, that's another transformation. My girlfriend, Lindsay, both on the products. Lindsay is an amazing athlete. So there's something here for everyone. But just simply reach out to the friend that plugged you into this call, that maybe added you to the Facebook group where you saw this link. Make sure to go back to that person. If you have questions, can't get a hold of someone, message one of us 3 and we'll make sure to get you directed towards the right person in contact. But they're going to run through your day, look at how much you're spending on food, drinks, coffee, snacks, eating out, alcohol, all those things. We have a couple of different 30-day systems, $9 a day, $14 a day, $19 a day. We're going to match it up to your goals. Just simply reallocate the money that you're already spending into a system, right? So simple. Spend a little more, feel a little bit better is what I say. And it's really easy. So they'll get you set up with a pack, takes about 10 minutes. You'll have a wholesale account. The wholesale account is $29 for the whole year. I say it's kind of like Amazon Prime or Costco, right? You get the membership. We'll give you the first best shopping experience. And then you have that wholesale account for the whole year. There are no order minimums. You don't have to be on any auto shipment programs if you don't want to. For us, auto ship is it gives you an additional 10 to 15% off of wholesale pricings. For those of you like us who love it, we get even cheaper pricing than wholesale. But every customer gets wholesale pricing. And then from there, you get to grab friends, plot them in this group, tag them, send them this recording. If they're excited and they want to join in, we're going to, with the person that got you started, match them up with their system, set them up at 10 minutes, and then you get a referral kickback. So you could make anywhere in 1 week, if you got 2 friends started in the same week, from $150 to $400, and actually goes up from there. So I think this is a time, one, absolutely jump in, feel amazing. With 2019 approaching, we make all these big goals, and you see so many people putting things off because exactly what Gabby said, it's like the Monday mentality. For me, I've had so many conversations with people. Let's get started now. Let's get these healthy habits going. Let's get plugged in. Let's get going on your health goals and your wealth goals, sharing your favorite groceries. And don't wait for another Monday. Definitely don't wait for January 1st. So very simple, very fun, but really excited to show people how to just share this simply, feel amazing, grab some accountability. Right now, if you're watching this, think of a family member you could text this recording to, or the person, or one of us. We'd happy to just do a quick phone call with them and help them get started and earn some referral money to go back in your pocket for a plane ticket, for gifts, to be able to give more this holiday season, whatever that is. The sky's the limit. So we'd love to chat more with you. We're going to cut it off now because you've been with us for a little bit of time. We appreciate you guys so much. If you have any additional questions, reach out to us, and we'd love to chat further with you on anything specifically that you have questions about.
And have a happy and healthy holiday.